Getting to live present here into this software as well. Okay, since we are live. Okay, hello. Okay, so in this video I'm just testing out how the streaming, which is scheduled to start at a later point, actually works, because I'm not really experienced with this. It might take a little of time for me to actually figure out how this actually happens. And I've checked with my mic in the morning when I got in. There was a little problem with the mic. I wasn't able to get my sound right, probably. And the mic is now working perfectly. And there are some stats which are visible to me over here. That is FPS, that's running 53 frames per second. That's a very good thing. Average time to render the frame is 14.2 milliseconds. Frames missed due to rendering lag is only around 2.4%. That shows promising. And hopefully the sound and everything is actually uploading properly. We are live. All the details are being shown here. The live chat here wasn't. I don't know whether one will be actually able to turn in to watch this live session, because morning 2 people actually turned up. One from Greece said, "Hi, hello," posted that particular thing already on the YouTube channel. To go live here on the channel. The community section will be able to see. Yeah, here, this is where we will see that. Yeah, we're going to. So you could see actually that some people actually turned up. I wasn't expecting anyone to actually join in, but not only they did join, but they also said hi, took time to say hi. This has never happened in any of my previous live sessions. Of course, I haven't had any live sessions before this, so probably it's normal for people to do this, or maybe my channel is actually growing in popularity. Never know. Anyway, so now that the live session is started, let me start checking out almost all the things that I'm supposed to do here. So you see that I have an option to end the stream over here. Stream settings are located here, which were automatically created by OBS Studio. We have analytics, which is showing me the concurrent viewers. Right now I don't have any, and probably those who tried the morning session got discouraged because I was having a little bit of promise in the title of it, and then I suddenly realized that it was actually public and people were reacting to it. I had to cut the stream short, make it private, and that was the end of it. Anyway, so let us see what other options we have around here. We have a live chat here. Okay, so now this is slightly problematic. Skipped frames due to encoding lag. Here we have this problem. So we have some skipped frames because of the encoding lag. So rendering lag is very okay, only 4.9% of the frames are being lost, and that's not very bad. But when it comes to skipped frames due to encoding lag, that seems to be hovering a little above, which is normal. That is hovering at around 35%. Now this has happened before as well when I was streaming some of the live sessions. In the middle, after the live session starts, there was a bit of lag and the audio was not available for some time, and the audio was a little bit lagging, or there was some other kind of problems which are popping up from time to time. Let me just check it out, the same live session. I'm just going to open on my YouTube channel and check up if there is any problem with the sound or any other such aspect. So I have the mobile on right now, but the live session that is right now live is not appearing on mobile. I don't know what mistake I'm doing, but it is actually public, and I'm using the YouTube app from my own account, so that shouldn't be much of a problem. But still, I go to my videos, that video is not showing up. So The earlier video actually showed up here properly, and this time, however, I'm not having that. Probably I have to search it somewhere else. So let's go to home screen, and yeah, this is where the live session is. Let's open that up and check whether the sound is appearing properly, if there is any lag or any other problems. It's not sure. Okay. So the earlier video actually showed up here properly, and this time, however, I'm increasing the sound on my mobile to maximum. So let's go to home screen, and yeah, this is where the live session is. Let's open that up and check whether the sound is appearing. So the sound still appears to be breaking a little, and I think I'll have to reduce it slightly. The video actually showed up here properly, and this time, however, when it comes to my live sessions before. Okay. There's the stats which are visible to me also. There is FPS that's running 53 frames per second, so a big thing. And the start to window time is 40.2 milliseconds frames with most. So that seems to be working perfectly on my mobile as well. There is still, however, the red colored text over here, which is actually trying to show me a danger that I'm facing. The frames are no, there is a rendering lag of 5.8%, and there are some frames skipped because of the encoding lag. So how do I fix it? I have no idea how I do this. But probably I'm going to use a smaller screen next time for when I'm going for this thing. Let's see if we are able to shift to the smaller screen, and this is actually going to improve. Right now I'm using an HD screen, which is my other monitor, and I think it's going to take some time for it to load up. Yeah, so I think now it is showing the other screen, which is actually a smaller screen. And what is the encoding right here? I'm not really sure about that. So let's go for stream health and let's see if there is something else. Okay. Here the stream status appears to be perfect. It's completely healthy. The stream is healthy at 15.8. That's about 308. Before I had started streaming, there was no data. And at 5:13, that is 3:13, we received an error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Okay, so I think there was a little bit of lag over there, and after that at 3:14, just 1 minute afterwards, the stream I think returned back to normal. However, okay, once again that thing is weird, and it seems again we are facing some kind of lag. So YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain strong or smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience some problem. So buffering is going to be experienced by the users. Hopefully that's not going to affect the audio so much, because when I was trying to live stream, as I told earlier, there was a little bit of lag. My friend was explaining some software concepts to me, and his voice actually lagged a lot, to such an extent that later when I watched the video again, I wasn't able to make out what topic he was explaining to me, and this is sure to be a big problem if I'm continuing to use this particular system I have with me right now. So how do I fix this? How do I fix an error to not appear when I'm streaming? Okay, so there is a person, Nishant Kumar, so voice clear नहीं आ रहा है, तो वही तो चेक करना है भाई, वही तो चेक कर रहा हूँ मैं. हेलो, हाय, यस, वही तो चेक करना है. ओके, सो फ्यूचर में ये प्रॉब्लम अवॉइड करनी है मुझे. इसीलिए ये कर रहा हूँ. Okay, so the college से मैं ये करता हूँ. When I do it from my college, I don't face this problem. Even though the systems they have, okay, I cannot say they are inferior to this. I have an Wi-Fi system, and in college they're having i3. But apart from the i3 system that they have, they also have a graphic card. Probably that works to its advantage, and that helps to maintain a good, healthy live stream over there in the college. Here, however, I'm not facing that much of a good connection, even though my system is good enough and I have a good geo connection. It still appears to be having a lot of trouble. How do I fix it? So if you have any suggestions over there, out there, community, you can just let me know in the comment section, and I'll probably try to use those techniques to avoid whatever problem I'm facing right now with this connection. So the stream status tells me that the connection is poor. There is a slight error which happened at 3:18, and the YouTube, it says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. But hopefully, even if this problem actually persists, later when the live stream video actually becomes available for other viewers to view, at least there, I should not receive any problem. If that's the case, then I could actually stream from my home as well, or else I will have to just avoid streaming from home and stick to streaming from college. So it will become another extra period for me from another. Okay, so we have this full screen over here. Anyway, so while I'm checking that out, I'll just keep this streaming data here in the other window, and I'll continue to edit something that I've been planning for a long time. It's long overdue, but as it said, better late than never, and so let's go ahead and see what we can do. Alright, so here we are. This is a PPT that I've been editing for some time now, and I just wanted to present this later at some point to the college management or someone over there. And this is the thing. Okay, so I've been developing education related content for a long time now. This plan has actually become very large lately. I have a very in-depth plan just for CAD modules for subjects, but also bringing the subjects together, making interconnections between the different subjects, so that students don't face difficulty in adjusting to a different subject which is advanced and which requires the knowledge from our earlier learned basic subject. So that's what actually happens right now, because let's say, for example, mechanics is taught by one particular faculty with a completely different teaching style and different testing methodologies and different set of tools that he is using, ICT tools, whether they are used or not, and also the different notations which the faculty members will be using, and also the diagrams that we'll be using, our conventions they'll be following. So all these will vary to a great extent from when it comes from one teacher to another, and it becomes a great challenge. When even I was studying myself, even my friends used to face a lot of difficulty in this area, and a lot of them used to give up. They just sort to by hearting the stuff and then just putting it through in the exams, and that's most. That was the approach which most of the students followed. Even I followed the same approach when I was studying in school, which focused more on marks and less on learning. But I think because the company's product development and almost everything that's going on in the outer world is a collaborative work, which is the result of a lot of people working on the same thing over a long period of time. But teachers have not actually caught up with that. Even though the online platforms are there, like the Byju's, the Junior, Whitehead, just Red Hat, Whitehead, right? And of course, we have the Coursera, we have the Academy, and all this kind of streaming services which provide the courses to the students with all the testing methodologies. So people who are very good at developing such content will be able to, of course, make content available to the students. But when it actually comes to live offline classes made available to students in universities. There's a lot of problem with it. And, I really want to solve that problem as well. I really want to bring the interest of the students, and I really want to catch the focus of the students in spite of all the distractions that the multimedia content nowadays is providing us with. And this is how the journey of CADMate actually began. And I started developing 3D CAD models, and slowly, as students started creating a lot of subject notes. You can see here if I go to my trial, and 14 GB of data is completely filled with all this content. So a lot of notes are gathered on different subjects. Most of it is not my own, of course, but a lot of it I've tried to redo in my own way. Mechanics is by far, I guess, the most highly developed subject content. So, so if I go here and open the subjects app, so basic, and okay, it's easy to get lost in there. I'll just come over here to the top. Okay, all the sessions. So this is from mobile, I guess. And did I keep all the notes? We have the GP quiz. Okay, these contents are there, but what exactly did I put my notes? Yeah, I guess, yeah, here. This is where the notes are. I forgot, I have got all the notes outside of those folders. I kept it here for be available. Okay, so now when I open up any of these notes, I can see that I have collected notes in root pointers order. This will be personal to the students. When I start the class, I make these notes available to the students. And of course, the students also have the ability to just select an area and put down their comment whenever they have a doubt. And I sort of engage them in this. I reply to the comments and try to have a conversation over here with this. And this is the first step. This was probably the first step I took towards improving the learning experience, overall learning experience of the students. It's okay. So let's see here. The streaming quality has not improved at all, and the skipped frames due to encoding lag that's continuously increasing. Right now, it has rose up here to 64%, and that's very high percent, I think, because it's more than 50%. I don't know, however, how it's actually appearing to the viewers. I'll just fire it my YouTube app on the mobile. Yes, I sort of engage with this. I reply to the comments and the conversation here. Fine, so this appears not that bad. The first step, this was probably the first step I took. Okay, it's acceptable, no big problem. No big problem. The sound is slightly breaking. I don't know how to fix it. I guess there is some filters available on OBS Studio that I'll be able to make use of around here. I don't know how that will be available right here or somewhere else. Let us see what filters we have out here. We have the gain, and we have something called the expander, load polarity, limiter. Noise gate was wrong of me to actually use noise gate because that actually stopped a lot of my sound from coming out the last time I used it, so I just probably had to avoid it. So we have something called VST 2.x plugin. So what that is, let's go ahead and have a check with that. Okay. Please select a plugin. I'm going to click on the plugin. There is no plugin available. And okay. Plugin interface. So open plugin interface. Okay, open plugin interface. Okay. There doesn't appear to be anything here in this area. So I'd probably have to install it first in order to get this product thing live. I don't exactly know where to look for sort of a thing. Let's see if I'm able to get something in that. I'll keep this aside for now. Let's just go to this plugin. Right. So we have some plugins maybe available on the official website itself. Okay, get music information from right within OBS. We have modular multi-flow, on-screen graphics. I need something in the audio. So let us see if we have something on the audio listed right here. So we have the categories located here. We have classic plugins, guides, studio, okay. Right. We don't seem to be having much on the audio. Let's go ahead and search everywhere. Okay, this got it on. Right, so audio. Plugin doesn't have any information there. Just go and check, restart for that. Okay. Fine. So the script frames due to encoding lamp keep on increasing. Okay, it's now 70%. So I think the more time I'm holding my session live, the more this problem is getting serious and serious. When I started the session, it was all green and it was all happy. It's telling me there was an actual problem going on around here. And as I'm going ahead with it, right now, it's time. How much time I have spent? Okay, let's first check out how much time we have spent on this. We have spent around, okay, stream count 2.24, what's this 2.24? I'm not very sure about this. Only gets time streaming. Oh yeah, the time is located over here, 23. So within 20 minutes at the start of streaming, there are a lot of problems I started facing around here. I have a lot of skipped frames due to encoding lags that's going beyond 71%. Because it has turned red, I think it's not really good. When I hear it on my app, that doesn't appear to be having any trouble. Maybe in the future, when I'm starting some of those live streams, I'll be able to get that in a better way. Okay, so randomly crashes when I'm starting. Okay, these are all comments, I think, and they're not plugins. I'm looking for plugins. Well, let's say go for plugins at random. Music information. Then we have phone as a camera source. Okay, that's for bright cam. I don't really want to do that. Okay, because my phone actually heats up when I start to use it as a webcam. So just go buy a different webcam if I'm really going to use that in the future. Anyway, I do have something in. Let's go to search, and this time let's say instead of everywhere, let's go for this category and search titles only. That's by number. No, we're not sure that. Let's just see if we have audio, and let's hit the search. Asynchronous audio filter. This plugin tries to fix any synchronous audio by synchronizing to the master clock of OBS Studio. OBS Studio is only the clock provided by OBS. On the other hand, some audio interfaces are running with their own clock to sample the audio, which is asynchronous. Let's try to show something about synchronous. Some I just want a plugin that clears, smoothens my sound time, basically. Let's go ahead and ask Google again for streaming audio. Let's say audio processing. Audio processing. Smooth. Okay. Smooth. Let's see, smoothing. Top five best audio studio plugins in terms of let's go and see what that website has to offer. And we have another website here showing 4 best OBS plugins for streaming. they're around cleaning, so they're probably doing chambers. Okay, this guy again, this guy had photos, but this is good. Okay, let's go back here and see what those are. Stream effects. Okay, you'll find the stream effects plugin, right? Along with near 100 other plugins. So stream effects is a plugin to OBS that adds new sources, filters, transitions to give you the ability to drastically improve your stream and recording setup past what was possible in the studio until now. Whether it is blurring out the region, moving something in 3D, or just writing your own shaders with a new transition source filters, stream effects has it. Create cool new scenes with 3D effects, make something glow, or have shadowed content. Okay, this is not as much about audio clarity and all. It's more about like a video encoding or something. Maybe see if something else is there. VSTFX set. So although it may seem that the most important part of streaming is video and the context, in reality having clear audio is just as what. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. So if your audio sounds unclear, people won't stick by your stream to listen to what you have to say. So this is probably one of the installs. So how to set up your VST plugins. I think that's what it was trying to show me when I had a filters button on here. But check it out once again. So we had a VST plugins here. That was the one exactly that we had out here. But since this particular option was not having any plugins here, I think maybe we'll have to install it first. Let us see how to, okay, so how to improve your Twitch stream. I'm interested in improving my YouTube. Hopefully that's also going to work with YouTube. So let's see it. Okay, so it's asking me to disable it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. That's this for you. Let's see what down for now. Let's come here and let's see. Okay, so Twitch streamers with noisy microphones will be happy to hear that OBS is the most powerful streaming software. OBS is separate for audio plugins and VSTs. It's a little known feature from the way behind a bunch of videos that you can significantly improve your audio quality. Okay, so we have the virtual studio technologies, so there's an interface between audio processing program and the other applications that report them. Alright, so let's go ahead to the next plugin. So VST 2.x plugins. I did go to that place, but I didn't get any plugins for it. So let's see how we can pick the options for that. The process for installing plugins can vary depending on which plugins you have. For most of them, though, they will go into C program files. Okay, so we'll have to probably copy these plugins into a folder. And there will be separate folders organized by plugins and manufacturer name. A lot of VST Pro plugins do cost money, but here we'll be setting up a real plugs VST suite. Okay, which is entirely free, fine, but okay. So select OBS. Okay, let it go to the plugins setup. This problem seems to be keeping on increasing. The rendering lag problem has increased to 10%, and the skipped frames to encoding lag is higher than ever, 7%. I have no idea how this is going to appear to the people who are listening to this. I'll try to listen to this myself after the stream is over, probably. And if anyone is actually listening to me right now, you could also tell me if there is any problem. This channel now probably has gone away because I don't see any viewers right now connected. Okay, I think we have probably solved the problem because here it's showing excellent connection rather than on. Yeah, here it says excellent connection button is back on. So this I have received 3 viewers till now. Most of them don't stay for a long time. Okay, so the connection is also gone. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what we have here. How to do this. Adjusting the plugin settings. First, I have to actually add these plugins. How do I add the plugins? Yeah, going to the plugin. Filters, OBS has a few basic plugins. It's almost free for noise control, but we're using this plugin. Okay, so we have added that, and oh, so here you can select the plugin you would like to add. We'll configure first as it's pretty useful for equalizing noise suppression. Why am I not getting any option with it? See, when I click here and try to add these plugins, so go to filters, and when I come here, you can see I don't have the plugins available to me. Why is that so? No. There's no plugin interface as well. Okay, so here I've already started setting the plugins, but how do I add them in the first place? This is the question that baffles this particular thing. It doesn't appear to be happening. So let me go back to where it all began and see how do I install the plugins. Okay. How exactly do I install it? So this is probably not going to help me out. Let me just check out what the name of the plugin is and try to search for a plugin. Okay, we have REA Plus. REA Plus. Let's go in. I'm just going to go to the official website of videos and to see if that plugin is available over there. The search option, let's go to the official website. And okay, let's go to language. GitHub is no idea, so probably I'll have to just ask Google if I can name it correctly. So OBS plugins installing. Alright, so we have here installing exe5 plugins. Okay, install these plugins. Let's go ahead and see that. Okay. How to install plugins? We also have a video here, which is a short video. I'm not probably going to play it right here because I'm not very lazy with but now YouTube channel for having YouTube content from some of those from the websites in the channel. Let's see what we have here. So installing plugins is easy as copy pasting. Okay. So all you need to do is put the DLL files in any folders that come with the plugin inside the correct directory. And how exactly do I download these plugins? Okay, so I would probably have to go to the place which earlier had shown me how to repetition was. So let's see what we have. So it's the play, the phones, things, yeah. So here we are. So we have the downloads option right here, and how am I going to actually search for this? So let's go ahead and search it here. So what was that plugin called again? It was called REA Plus. REA Plus. Let's see. REA Plus. So it's all showing messages from the forum. I'm not interested in knowing what happens to the forum. I'm interested in downloading a particular plugin for myself. How do I do that exactly? It's not really clear. So let's go to advanced search. Search terms, search resources. Okay. Right, so here we have the plugins in the category. And okay, so keywords, audio clubs. Let's press enter. And I'm going to get search for first. I'm going to be looking for the plugins. Okay, so let's go to search. Oh god. Let's search for what? Okay. Let's just keep this empty and search for it. So this is probably completely messed up. So I probably have to go back and take a look at the video. My god. This problem seems to be skyrocketing still further. 79% performance. Going a little beyond 80% now. And yet, on my YouTube channel right here, it shows excellent connection. So let's see what the streaming has. Okay, at 15:31, the stream was stream returned back. Very healthy. Alright. So that is going to be helping much. That probably. So this thing. I'm gonna just play the video here and that is pretty looking. So I'm trying to play it out actually the place outside of this game so that it's not going to flop my YouTube channel. So I can just go here, installing, and play a video on how to install the plugins.
In today's OBS short, I'm going to show you how to install plugins for OBS Studio on Windows. First and foremost, find your OBS plugin on the OBS resources page and click download. Click download. Now you have...
Okay, so we have to probably go to first, we're going to first go to the OBS and downloads page. Okay, so I'm going to just play this video. Outside of this page, so let's go away. What happened? Oh, that's it. No, okay. Anyway, so we're going back here to the page here, so I have to probably go to resources. Right. And how do I search for the resources? So there are so many resources. What do I search for? Just exit place. Audio status monitor. Okay. So I just want some filters of it. They're going to be able to put it from there. So search resources. REA and link. Okay. Okay. It's going to appear to be present here on the website. So where should I look for? This is a big mystery. I don't know what to do.
Have two options. The first one is an installer. Go ahead and click download. It would download a .zip file. You will need to extract that or potentially just run it from there and run the installer, approve it, run anyway, and it will copy the required files. Let's assume you don't trust the installer or you're installing to a portable instance of OBS. For example, I have one that I use for my test configs over in C, Programs, and OBS Portable. Well, then you download the just normal Windows non-installer file, download the zip, open the zip in your favorite program like 7-zip, and the root portable C program go up. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications.
Okay, that video was not very helpful. Okay, right. REAC, your source. So, how do I know whether the plugin that I'm looking for is actually original plugin that I'm looking for, or something? It's something that is completely different from what I'm looking for. Okay, so back on this website, it takes via plugs. Okay, are we missing? Right. One place you can find free hosting plugins is Reaper. You'll need to download the suite. In most cases, you're going to download the 64-bit version of the software. Once you add the software, you can add a list of plugins to your OBS device filters. You'll find a list of various plugins, but how to take us from tutorial and how to set up a list of plugins. Okay. So Reaper seems to be the thing. Search for it. Okay. Okay, so we have reached the website, and now I need to plugin. Let's also look for how to improve and understand. Hey, where was that thing? So we look for somebody else. How to, right. So we're back with the same thing. So we probably need to first install this thing, but how do I install it? It's probably the whole software that we would have to install. Conference, video, media items, audits, and wow. Okay, so now that we know this bit of the thing, goes to install. Okay, let's download things from your license. Okay, you're going to be given you use the discounted license here for the okay. Here is some be used in okay, version. Why is the associated to the paid software? This is where the guy is trying to become a lot more difficult. Let's see another video.
What's up, guys? If you've used OBS before, you probably know it's a very powerful tech, the channel dedicated to helping you. Now, I want to go ahead and say that a lot of these plugins are a lot more self-aware and can actually install themselves with an installer. And the one that we're going to, the best way I found to find OBS plugins is to simply go to Google and just search OBS plugins, and then it should take you directly to the OBS plugins kind of repository of user uploads and stuff on OBS's website. And there are tons of these. You could spend hours going through these and finding really good plugins. And the cool thing about OBS is some of these plugins that could be literally from 2017 can still be useful and work properly in the current version of OBS here in 2022, which is mind-blowing. GitHub repository. If it takes you to a GitHub repository, plugin, and we have the option up here to download, and a lot of these will actually take you to a GitHub repository. If it takes you to a GitHub repository, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be able to find the download here on this code tab, and scroll down through here and find that it's right here. And then sometimes they have this wiki tab, and a lot of them will read.
This video is also not talking about how to be able to search a particular plugin there on this. Yes. Okay, so how do I do that? No idea. Let's see if we have any options here. Okay, top on here, just push up here. And guys, don't say that this plugins. I have no idea what to do with this. Right. So, okay, filter was right here. Okay, I just want to free ones and created by. Okay, so we got the free ones. Sort by 13. Uh-oh. Sort by 18. So 74 is the maximum it gets to in free plugins and service. Let's see if we have something on the audio. Now playing digits, stream digits, Spotify, percent, okay, got it. Letting go to stream deck internet. Is that animation stuff? I'm just running something up. Audio. Audio edit. Being a filter. It has been created by I don't know what is creating it. So studio finish stop. Low latency IP video audio using technology. Okay. Body stopper. Let's see. Sending. Sending. There we go. And sending. Going back and checking the stream quality, this has improved slightly. And the channel as well, so it just says it's good, it's excellent. That's information. So this, there appears to be no problem with the tutorial now. This appears to be improving. So I guess it's just a matter of time. Anyway, so how exactly do I find these problems? Is the question that just still continues to baffle me. And it seems about transition, the problem stopper. I'm not interested in any of this. Maybe just give me something. Let's go to studio. Audio tracks. Now waiting on that. But in fact, this problem has been working with the studio for a long time. In fact, I didn't even use this in the studio for a long time because the interface appeared so complicated that I just stuck away from using it for some time. Otherwise, I just drew it later on. And there's probably got to be a better way to do this. Let's just search for this. Reference. Using Pro Audio plugins with the best streaming audio. That's also possible. Best previous plugins. Okay, just talking about them. Does he explain how to download it? That's what he does.
Not only that, I'm going to show you how storage, organization, editing, and method of purchase. On one will also be hearing the audio that I will be editing in DaVinci Resolve later on. So let's hop over here to the tutorial mic. And here we go. So now you're hearing the tutorial mic. This is so you can hear how the audio quality improves as we add our filters and effects in the chain and everything. Bother even determine if to the and the outgain here.
So that continues to do the same thing again. Alright, so let's do one thing. Let's just take a random plugin and try to install it. Okay, so this is just a discussion. Apple, we don't have an Apple system with us, so let's just wait for now. So video guide, Second, depending on your getting the boost garage here. Low latency, high performance options for most streaming services. Let's go ahead and take this one because you're promising. Okay, so there's no longer button for this. You have an option to join the discussion. No, I don't want to join the discussion, I just want. Okay, so this is guys. Right, explanation of the treatments. Not helpful. Let's go back to resources. Oh, right, go back to resources. We just transfer buttons. And if your studio buttons. Let's go for studio buttons. And see if you have anything in the audio anything useful. Anything that is useful, let's go ahead and install it. So one is we have waveform using the dashboard spectral analysis. Asynchronous source application and settings. And we have filters. Maybe options. Look at this. Replace source, the program, display server, source report. Stream effects. Bring your stream to life with more audio effects. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. And then we're going to work this one out. Is it free? It's free to want here. To the GitHub. So don't initial the times, this is going to be available as downloads. I'm not interested in the source code, I'm just interested to install this particular thing. So, none of the exe installers, or remember the exe installer. I keep it already files, okay. Building the source. Okay, this is the Linux. So this one from down, this one from back to those, so we have those, this one, select one, and we can turn step into Windows. So let's install it. So right now I'm using the program, using the OBS Studio program, I think I'm using the need to install it right now. So let's install my for users. It's important to need to install the using static version of OBS with so we just export it. Okay. It is because I have OBS Studio installed. The folder exists. We'll install stream effects for the studio in the folder. Display that this is on the terminal. Special another folder. Install static version tools. Then we should purchase to separate it. Not really sure what this is going to mean. Let's go ahead and do another folder. This plugins. Let's go ahead. Already exists. Okay, so install it. This should probably help me out with using it. Let's search menu now, try to go to the filters and see if the list of plugins available. Oh no. So these plugins are probably going to pop up in different places. Oh, I'm not going to find which plugins are going to be used. I have no idea. I have no idea how to find out which plugins are installed, which plugins I'm going to be using. And that's another problem. Right. Yeah. Come on. Isn't there one sensitive guy out there in YouTube who's going to show us the best way how to install the plugins? That's what I'm getting part to the final stage. Stop. Using Pro Audio plugins, best streamer audio, how to improve your mic audio in OBS, best previous plugins for live stream. So this guy is continuously speaking about. Okay, this one is considered about that.
Okay, everybody. The first thing we need to do is go over to TokyoDon.net and go down to Tokyo Don Labs and grab our plugins. Now, they do have free ones and paid ones here. Now, we do want TDR Molotok. Notice the free download. Okay. We're going to need TDR Nova. Also, notice free download. Okay. The third one we're going to need from them is TDR Voss Slick EQ. Free download. So when we click on free download, it's going to carry us to the TDR Voss, Slick EQ page. And we're going to want to do this for all three of these plugins. Now, if you're running Windows, I recommend getting the Windows.
Okay, so 3 plugins yesterday to install. Let's see what those are.
To Tokyo Don Labs and grab. We do want TDR.
TDR Molotok. So probably that's download. And we will be using the Windows instead of. Okay. So since installers appear to be asking other kind of questions, so I'll just kind of download this up.
Our Molotok. Notice the free download. Okay. We're going to need TDR Nova.
TDR Nova is the next one. So let's get it. Okay, so you can just check it out.
Just demonstration purposes, I only downloaded TDR Voss Slick EQ because I already then have a setup file. You click on it, start running it, click run, click yes. Then you'll click next, accept the agreement, next again, choose all of them, click next, 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 and finally install. Just go ahead and click install and install all the plugins. Do them all like that. Finally, just click install and you're good to go. Okay, everybody. I now have OBS Studio opened up. And just a reminder, if you're running Streamlabs OBS, there are some compatibility issues with that software and VST plugins. So you may not be able to use this tutorial. And if you do, some of the plugins may not work correctly. That being said, let's get in here and start setting this up. Now, you'll notice my audio has 2 bars peaking up right here. That's because I am running in on stereo signal. However, not all interfaces have a stereo signal going out. And if yours only has one side lighting up here, right-click on it and go down to Advanced Audio Properties. Okay? Then you want to...
Okay, so now that we have downloaded it, we'll just kind of open it. So let's change this number. Okay. We're going to have a folder. I'm going to install that. And change that. And this is for advanced people. Let's go ahead and download the installer. Writing, okay, single set of points, yes. So it turns out if we ask the right questions and identify options, although it's right here. In OBS Studio, once I started using it, I got to know it a little bit. This completely will understand it. Alright. Alright. So now that it's installing, okay, it's not finished installing as well. And all this while the stream was still on. Right, the CPU says this still at 10% and it's on all these options. Direct color is still learning, but the magnitude encoding has reduced significantly. And my YouTube channel is back showing the error. So it started at 1610, which is around 410. So around 40 minutes after the stream was completed. And then the problem started again. I don't really know what this is going to lead to, but let us say it's not going to be much. And let's continue. So what we have here will do. So now that we have installed one of them, let's go ahead and say everything's been made. So it's like no one's also going to be reading, possibly as well. And is there anything else? Let's talk about.
And paid ones here. Now we do want TDR Molotok.
So in the Molotok, we've downloaded we're installing Lego.
Notice the free download. Okay. We're going to need TDR Nova. Also, notice free download. Okay, the third one we're going to need from them is TDR VOS Slick EQ. Free download. So when we click on free download,
Wow.
it's going to carry us to the
Lots of
TDR
things
VOS, you know.
TDR VOS Slick EQ also is something that you can access to install. Let's go ahead and do that. And let's do that for and it. Slick EQ. What is another one? Who wants us to install? Let's go ahead and do that. Then there's installer, and as I said that. Let's wait for this to install.
Slick EQ page. I recommend getting the window. Then we can download the plugin to our wherever folder you want. In my case, the desktop. And just click once we get wider from Polyverse. Okay. So now we're here on Polyverse, and we want to get Infected Mushroom by wider. And of course, links for all these will be down in the description below. And this is, yes, another
It's another one for downloaded. Alright, so we have here on the website
free plugin. This is a stereo widening plugin. You want to click on
Okay. Okay, we're going to download.
download now. And okay, we're going to need to go and also get wider from Polyverse. Okay, so now we're here on Polyverse, and we want to get Infected Mushroom by wider.
Okay. So when website appears, Infected Mushroom, is this the only plugin available version? Probably. So not just as well. Go ahead and download it. Website looks slightly different. That's what I have to do. Since this is where you realize that to choose download link will be sent to the mail.
And of course, links for all these will be down in the description below. And this is, yes, another free plugin. This is a stereo widening plugin. You want to click on download now, fill out the information, sign up for the pre-Polyverse newsletter, and click get your free copy. Okay, when you get that downloaded, we will then install our plugins. Okay, everybody. Once you have all 4 of your plugins downloaded, we need to install them. Now, for just demonstration purposes, I only downloaded TDR VOS Slick EQ because I already have them all installed. But what you want to do is just double click on your
Okay, so we already download this. Downloading was sent okay. So probably ought to get back to mail to everything that way. So there's been something Further detections versus component. Anyway, the audios. We enter Windows. Expand it. Open and install it.
Zip folder. You will then have now have the OBS Studio opened up. And just a reminder, if you're
Okay, so did it open? Let's go to the download section. So we purchase download it. There is a manual PDF as well. This. Okay, install it. Start. Next. Perfect. Let's see what's there in the manual. Nice. Okay. Unique progress to be able to 22 pages. This week, manual. Anyway, let's come back here and see what we have to do. These photos. One video was able to solve so many different problems. You can be able to get the end of this one video with it yourself. Anyway, let's see how
you're
it's
running
proceeded.
Streamlabs OBS, there are some compatibility issues with that software and VST plugins. So you may not be able to use this tutorial, and if you do, some of the plugins may not work correctly. That being said, let's get in here and start setting this up. Now, you'll notice my audio has 2 bars peaking up right here. That's because I am running in on stereo signal. However, not all interfaces have a stereo signal going out. And if yours only has one side lighting up here, right click on it and go down to Advanced Audio Properties. Okay. Then you want to find your microphone and click Mono. You want to put a little check mark in there to make sure you're getting a full stereo signal. That way your listeners on your streams and everything will hear both sides instead of just one side of your audio. Okay,
Okay, so one important information I got here is that now if you get advanced audio files, mic, Alex, and video. So 3 options we have around here. Monitor volume percentage. Pretty much the same options that we have over here. Click on the settings.
that being said, hit close on that. And also, you'll want to make sure that your gain levels, when you're speaking naturally, like I am right now, are hitting between -12 and -18 dB. As you can see, mine are right here on by the little view meter here. It's important to get the correct gain settings coming in. If not, your audio could be too loud after going through my tutorial. So yeah, everybody needs to have these settings set so your audio is peaking between -12 and -18 dB.
Okay, so when I'm speaking normally, my audio has got to be between -10 and -20. That appears to be the case right now. So it seems I'm pretty much set for streaming. That is the one thing I've done correctly.
dB
Let us see what
while
we have
speaking normally
next.
into your microphone. Okay, now let's start adding our filters. Now to add your filters is quite easy. All we got to do is just right click on your little meter here and go down to filters. Wonderful. Now you'll notice there are no filters listed. It's no problem.
Okay, so now let's go back to the filters and see if those plugins were added. Oh, yes. We have 3 filters added here. Let's see one of them. Oh, my dad is going to love this. Because he always loved having the meters pointed out to you. So let's see what it's going to be looking like.
We'll have to add them. Okay, now we have a plus sign and minus sign, a up arrow and a down arrow.
I know what I was.
Okay, the minus sign will help you remove after you change the order. First one, and I'm going to recommend RN Noise here. This is the one that new one that comes in OBS 26 and is the one I recommend. Now the RTX voice listed in there, their noise reduction plugin, and if we're running an NVIDIA graphics card, that
Okay, so let's see. What as well as
one will be available to you to use. At least if you run the RTX one, you want to use. So therefore, I'm going to recommend once we got that done, add it, we want to click on VST or Nova. Our list here, find our drop down list box here.
There's
And go
got a
down to
lot of plugins on there. But I have very few. And so, let's put plugins. That's the main thing.
to find TDR Nova. Now, I have a lot of plugins in mind because I do a lot of audio work, obviously. However, you're not going to have that in that list. Open plugin interface. Okay.
Okay, first he's going from Nova. And let me select the Nova. Open plugin interface. So the plugin interface is opened.
Wonderful. And this is what TDR Nova looks like. It's a really nice parallel dynamic equalizer, as the name says here. And it does quite a few things. It's a really great one. Now, we want to use precise here. And if you want to, click in and you can actually start see yourself while you're talking.
Okay.
And this will help you dial in your voice issues and corrections and stuff. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to do is go down here, which is HP and low P, or high pass filter and low pass filter. Click on that, and we want to change the frequency here up to about 40.
What do we do, really?
And we want P and low. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to do is go down here, which is HP and low P, or high pass filter and low pass filter. Click on that, and we want to change the frequency here up to about 40. And let me see here. Yeah, about 40. Go up. And if you hit the control button, you can actually get hard steps here. So while you move your mouse up and down.
Okay, so I have to increase this to 40. That's what it's telling me. And hopefully that's
Get hard steps. And let's click on low pass filter here and turn that one on. And we want to carry it down to 25K here. And that's what
okay, so the other one is using it 25. Okay, yeah,
recommend using. That way, when you're using any kind of like a lower quality 16-bit streaming software like OBS uses, the AC, that'll keep any artifacting out of the noise or anything. And if you're using a 16-bit interface, it also helps with that as well. Okay, so get those done. We don't need 3 and 4. We can just turn those off. So we only need 1 and 2. Let's click on 1 here. And we want to change our Q value to 0.5 here. Now, what we're going to do with this one is
0.5.
actually add a little plosive protection, a kind of deplosive. And we're going to do that by adding a little bit of compression to this band here. Now, frequency I want to use is 120. So scroll this up and
frequency 120. It seems more like a radio.
down to you get around 120 here. It doesn't have to be precise, but around 120 is close enough. We don't touch the gain, but we will need to use the threshold here to add a little compression to that point. And I recommend only pulling this down to -9 dB, as too much might actually take bass out of your voice. And we don't want to take bass out. We just want to prevent any plosives. Okay. So the ratio here I would recommend is go up to 5:1, kind of protect against any kind of plosives and stuff. And you can see as I say plosives, it kind of dips down a little bit right here. And that's kind of protecting any kind of accidental plosives in your audio. Okay. For the attack and release here, the attack, I want to make that a little faster.
Appears to be having a lot of problems. Gain has been set to be 0. Probably I'm having a lot of gain set at some other place. And that's one of the reasons why this particular thing is actually showing up very differently from what we're showing in the video. So let's see what attack is.
Punch in 5 here for 5 milliseconds.
Attack is set at 5. Okay.
Seconds, release 200 milliseconds, and we're good to go. And while we're at it, the outgain here, we do need to bring up to about 6 dB before I forget that one.
Okay, so out dB is increasing it to 6. Around 6.
Let's go ahead and add 6 dB. That way it'll bring up our audio to a more nicer level. Okay.
Okay.
Once we get that done, let's click on 2. 2 there. And we're actually going to add Sibilance, kind of DS. Okay, do this is quite easy. What we want to do first.
Okay, so we're going to do the second one now. I don't know that's happening. What's happening is it natural or not natural? I'm not really sure about this. Let's go and see what the gain is. Gain is considered spontaneous. Let's reduce it to 0. And let's see if okay, let's actually delete this altogether. I'll probably go ahead and open this up back. Okay, fine. So now that I have removed all the gain that I had set back there, this is now appearing more natural, and it looks more nearer to what it is showing me over there.
First is actually change our Q value here to 1.0. Okay.
So Q value is to maybe 1.0.
Okay. And around 1.0. There we go. Now, obviously, 400 hertz isn't where we're having problems with sibilance. For most male voices, it's going to be around 7,000. And it ranges anywhere between low as 5 up to 10. Find what fits your voice. My voice on this microphone is 7K, is where I have sibilance problems.
Okay,
as you can hear, all the it's very harsh on your ears. Yes, I know. However, this is easily dealt with. Click threshold here, and we want to lower the threshold to -30. And that's really going to help start cutting out those sibilance problems. Anytime it peaks above -30, that's going to start helping on those sibilance. Now the ratio here, right now by default is 2:1. We want to bring this up somewhere around 5:1. It really depends on your voice and your microphone. If you don't have much of a sibilance problem, or if you have a lisp, then you don't need much compression. You can actually pull that down to 2 and leave it at 2. However, if you have like a real serious a sibilance problem, then you may want to go higher. But for this microphone and for me speaking, the 5:1 seems to work the best. Okay. Now for the attack here, I want to run, we'll say like 5 milliseconds on it as well, with release around 200.
5 milliseconds.
And that's going to work quite well for de-essing. And if you're just curious if it's working, test, 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 test. As you can tell, that really takes the harshness off your S's and your Z's. And I highly recommend everybody use this. A lot of streamers don't do this, and a lot of YouTubers don't do it either. And it just kills my ears and stuff, listening to so much sibilance problems. So yeah, that'll help cut out the S problems. But like I said, what you want to do is just find where it's actually peaking, like it's right there of mine. But if yours is like over here, then just adjust it down, adjust it where you need it to. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty easy to dial in. And after you find out where you have problems with the frequency here, then with the ratio, you can adjust how much you need, as far as the, de-essing. And this works quite well, and I really do like using this. This is actually the one I use even in DaVinci Resolve to cut out sibilance and plosives. Okay, now that we have our TDR Nova set up, let's add our next plugin. And what we're going to add now is Slick EQ as our equalizer plugin. Okay, so let's close this one out. And like before, we'll go down here to the plus sign. And no, we want to go down here which says VST plugin. Yes, that one. And let's type in Slick EQ. Okay. And like I said, this is our equalizer. And like before, let's find it in our list here. It'll be under TDR Slick EQ. Let me see if I can't find it yet. TDR Slick EQ. Yeah.
What?
Be this one right here for me. Okay. And let's open plugin interface. Okay, wonderful.
I think I didn't install it. I didn't install it. Did install it. Molotok. It's done. Second. Okay, probably this is not installed, so let's go ahead and install it. Is that sync? Is it over here? Okay. It's open.
Now, TDR Vosley EQ is a really nice plugin. I really like the way it works. And you have different options here. It changes the curve. I'm going to recommend the British one for this particular voice. Since we're going for more of a broadcast voice, I recommend British. Okay, for the low pass here, leave it at 85. The gain here, I'm going to recommend to start out around -4. And like before, you can hit the control button and use your mouse to have hard stops. And about 4 works quite well. Now we want to use the bell here. Make sure you're using the bell. And for the mids here, we're actually going to drop this one down to 400. So you can press the control button as well, pull it down to 400 so you have the hard stops. And I want to cut out 4 dB of the gain. And you can already notice this is starting to take out some of that shallowness in your voice and give your voice a more of a broadcast sound. Okay. And as far as the highs here, go up 1 to 2 dB. And of course, put it on the bell as well. Okay. I'm going to recommend use EQ saturation. This is going to boost any kind of your high ends, as far as the 2 dB here and the 4 dB here. It's going to add some coloration to the audio, make it sound like a tube amplifier to an extent. Okay. Now, you can play around with these and choose the one you want. I like using mellow. I think it gives you the more of a broadcaster sound, like a tube amplifier would have. And you can actually bring that up. I would recommend about 12. However, just find what sounds the best to you. Okay. Leave it set to auto. And as far as the full right here, click on that and go down to live. And ignore that. When you restart it again,
I said something like live. Let's go ahead and check it out.
okay, leave it set to auto. And as far as the full right here, click on that and go down to
Okay, so this full setting is changed to live.
live. And ignore that. When you restart it again, it will go to live. And what this is really good is going to add 0 latency, which makes these excellent for live streaming. Okay. And if you're wondering how these sound, you can turn these off individually and turn them on to get kind of the voice, find out what's working best for you. Now, for lows here, if you want more bass, bring this up. As you can hear, this adds a lot more bass. If you want to take away bass, bring it down. Okay. For the most part, the mids here, they'll cut at 400. Normally between -3 and -6 dB works the best. I'm going to recommend just -4 for you to try out. And that's actually what I use on the SM48 here. And if you need more clarity in your voice, then it's the highs you want to adjust. If you need more clarity, you can bring it up. However, be warned, you could add more sibilance as well. And if your voice is overly high and you want to make it a little softer, you can bring these down. So this is what I recommend for like a broadcaster voice sound, and I think it works quite well on most all microphones. Just adjust the lows and the highs as you need them. Okay, that said, let's add our next plugin, and it would be Molotok for our compressor. Okay, let's close this one, and let's go down, click the plus sign again, and no, do not click compressor. We want to go down to VST plugin again. And let's type Molotok comp. That way we know that one's the compressor. Okay. And of course, find it in the list as well. You'll find it under TDR Molotok. And open interface again. All right. This one also, we want to put it on live. Yeah, live is very important for that one. Okay.
Live.
Now, we want to adjust our threshold first here to -24. And of course, we can hit our control button on the keyboard for hard stops on that as well. Okay. As you can see, this is already starting to actuate. Wonderful. Okay. Now, it's going to add some compression and it's going to lower the audio. But don't worry, you're probably already noticing it. We can bring it back up with our makeup gain here. Okay. And -6 on the makeup gains.
Okay, so +6. Okay. There it is.
Recommend. This is to keep it from getting too high. Now, by default, the ratio is 4:1. However, I don't run 4:1. For this one, I run a 3:1. Make it a little softer. And also to soften it up a little bit more, make it seem a little more natural, we can take the knee here. Right now it's at 0.5, which is like mid on the knee. We can soften it up a little bit more to 0.25, make it a little bit softer. Okay, 0.25 on the knee works great. Okay, now on the attack and release here, I want to pull the attack down to 3 milliseconds. There we go, 3 milliseconds. And the release, I want more around 300 milliseconds. As far as the alpha, beta, and sigma right here, these settings, this is for another tutorial again. However, just ignore these and leave it set at 0.0, which is all the way on alpha. Okay, and that's our first compressor, and that's what actually helps start keeping our audio at a more listening level. That way things don't get too quiet and things don't get too loud. So this works to compress those and keep them a little more, consistent. Okay, that said, let's add our next plugin. And our next plugin will be wider. Okay, let's click on the plus sign again, go down to VST plugin, and let's type in wider. This is our stereo imaging plugin. It's a very good one, absolutely free again. And we may have to go down and find it and just click on wider. All right, and click on interface. Now, this one's going to take the mono signal and spread it out to a more wider area, broaden the stereo image. As you can see, it start bringing it out, it starts getting really crazy, so I don't want to go too crazy with it. What I actually use is 22%. And it's really going to depend upon you, what you want to use. I personally, for the microphone, I wouldn't go over 30%, and under 20% seems like you're not really using it. But hey, if you want to go more crazy with it, go ahead. It's your audio. But I recommend around 20 to 25% for most people. And like I said, it depends upon your voice, really. So that said, let's add our next one here. And our next plugin is going to be Molotok again. However, this time we're going to use it as a limiter. And let's add VST plugin again. And of course, this one I want to type in Molotok Limiter. Wonderful. Get that one typed in so we know it's the limiter plugin. And right before, go ahead and find it in the list here and go down to TDR Molotok. And click Open Plugin Interface. Alrighty. First thing we need to do is turn precise to live, so get the 0 latency mode. Turn off the sidechain, pass here, and we want to change our threshold here to -12. Okay, get that set to -12. The knee, I recommend a 0.75 on this one. In case you're wondering, a 1 would be the hardest the knee can get, and 0 would be the softest the knee can get. For a limiter, you want a fairly hard or completely hard knee. That way it protects any audio from getting too loud and peaking up and hitting 0 dB, which can cause clipping. We don't want anything to clip. All right. Attack, we want 3 milliseconds on this one as well. And release, also 300. Let's put that on 300 there. As far as the ratio, though, I do want to go up to 8:1. And as far as the makeup gain, let's just add 3 dB of makeup gain. That way, in case it gets too loud, say bang, bang, pop, pop. As you can see, it keeps it from getting too loud and clipping. We don't want any audio to clip, and that's very important. Okay. So once we got that done, we're good to go on that one. Okay, let's go down and click the plus sign and click on Expander. Now this is the Expander plugin that comes built into OBS Studio, and it works quite well, and it's the one I recommend. Okay, by default, the ratio 2:1 is what I recommend. However, the threshold here, I actually use a -20. And if you get too low, like it says -40 there, then if you're banging on the keyboard or there's noise in the room, you're just liable to pick it up. Now, an expander is a gating plugin. However, it's a little more natural sounding, keeping things getting too complicated. For just an example here, if audio hits -20 dB, like we're speaking right now, then the audio sounds fine. It's the same level coming out. However, if the audio, say, goes below -20 dB, each decibel below -20 dB gets pressed down 2 dB. So, for example, if you have -30 dB, which is 10 dB lower than -20 dB, it would make the audio sound as if it was -40 dB, pushing the audio levels down more. Okay, attack and release here. I don't like these attack and release. Want something a little bit more quicker. I want 5 milliseconds. And release here, I'm going to recommend around 500. And that 500 is going to make it very smooth, not too choppy. However, if you have a problem with, like I said, a lot of noise and stuff, and you want to close a little bit faster, then you lower it down to say like 200 or 250 milliseconds. But between like 250 and 500 is what I recommend. 500 if any way possible. You want to leave the detection on RMS and leave the output gain at 0 dB. And this is what I use right here. This is actually what I use. So yeah, this is the expander I use. It works great, and this is what I recommend. Okay. That said, that has all our audio adjusted. Now let's just close all these and start from beginning. And as you can see here, without noise suppression, if you're in a real noisy room, this is going to help. When I stream, I like to use a fan. However, it's not on right now. But turning noise suppression on will help, keeping like fan noise and stuff out.
Probably that's
okay. Then TDR Nova, to keep the kind of sibilance and plosive sound. And of course, Lick EQ to give us a nice big broadcaster sound that we all like. Molotok, our first one here is a compressor, just to kind of compress our voice, get their audio levels a little more natural sounding where they don't get too loud or too quiet. Wider to add our stereo imaging. And of course, Molotok one more time. This time it's a compressor, but tightened up a little bit more. So it works as a limiter to keep our levels from actually peaking out around -0 dB. If we do, because that, will clip our audio. We don't want audio clipped. And finally, expander, just to kind of, bring it all together and keep our audio sounding nice and tight. And to keep any noise, breathing or keyboard noise out of your audio, that stuff that might make it past the noise suppression plug-in. So anyway, this is how to get your microphone sounding good. But we're not done yet. Let me show you how you can make your music and your game audio actually sound better too while you're speaking in OBS Studio. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is add a little ducking to our game audio. And we want to go down to Filters. And of course, plus sign again. And but this time, let's go and actually use the compressor that's in OBS. Okay, click on compressor. And we want to name this game ducking. Now, the reason we want to do this is if we're playing like our game and stuff, and we go to speak to our audience, we want any kind
Okay, since I will not be using much of the game with the music audio, I'm just going to skip this. Fine. So at the end of this much of streaming, around 1.5 hours of streaming home as output, and the skip frames due to encoding lag is showing about 67%. The rendering lag is also at 9%, which has never gone about 10%. I don't know whether that is good or bad, but that definitely is colored as red. So I feel that it is definitely wrong. Okay, anyway, so let's close up all these things, and let me just finally open it on my app, YouTube app, on my mobile, and check if it is working perfectly. Okay, so the video was already playing. Let's just go to the live. Okay. And the stick fails to do improvement was shown about 67%. The rendering is also 9%, which is lower down about 10%. I don't know whether that is good or bad, but that definitely is colored as red. So I feel that it is definitely wrong. Okay, anyway, so let's close up all these things. And so even after applying
Kind of
all
like
this,
monsters roaring.
even after applying all the settings that are being recommended over there, I don't have the sound here, I guess. It still has a lot of background sound. That's probably because of the mic I'm using. I don't know if I change the setting to... Okay, so the lower setting actually doesn't work. It seems to be for cameras alone, and the smartphone setting, okay, so the camera setting is what is accepting the sound. If I lower it over to the smartphone, it just turns off, and then it just doesn't give any sound to the system. Fine, so far so good. Anyway, we were able to apply a lot of different plugins over there, and streaming seems to have successfully ended with me having fixed most of the sound problems that I'm having to face around here. Probably I'm going to view a few more videos on YouTube to see if we could reduce all the background noise that's coming out because of the wrong kind of mic that I'm having about there. So that's probably going to require me to have a little more idea about these plugins, and probably okay. After a few more days of spend time on this, my sound quality is probably going to increase, and probably I'm going to be much more ready to start putting out better quality videos. I was hoping actually YouTube is going to have an artificial intelligence system where it was able to improve my sound quality somehow after uploading the video, but maybe that's not so as of now. Anyway, to get some fish, I already improved the sound quality, so let's go back to what we were doing before audio improvement direction. So we have here which show, let's start at the top, we have related teaching using right. So we have the two challenges with the updated syllabus on the time, events, workshops, conferences and research, documentation for inspection also needs to be done, a lot of property members, we have a lot of mentoring to do, attendance to accommodate and collect from different resources, marks to be noted and collection from different sources. So this is actually going to take a lot of time. So having an online system that collects all this data and analyzes it at one place is a very handy tool, which everyone could save a lot of time with. And this is one of the reasons where we are working in Academy as well. So as a part of that, I have developed attendance Google Sheets, which when each faculty will get his own attendance sheet when he or she attendance on a daily basis. And the data from this will be extracted and analyzed for consolidation at a place. And that's what so anyway, so beginning challenges. These are challenges that we face on my Facebook articles. Academic challenges for education, when we have challenges in faculty, And I can just use Unity. Let's use the name dispenser. Skills that I just Unity students to have communication skills. We can details communication skills. Sprint. And we have high levels of we also need experience standards. This real status is an info. And that's probably because the jobs not the ones the students who have limited jobs who have had experience. And the jobs require experience within then they're stuck. So this will be a start. This will go. This is one problem that we're trying to. And here it's the solution we're working with. The students must get a chance to crack the code. And work the experience of the front-end and forward. Students must get experience with the company and getting and delivering part. So we must work with the student. Get to the experience of handling a company. Must develop product from scratch. Keep improving it. Working together as a team. Nobody. Must get experience of managing a company. So the product from scratch and keep on moving it. Working together as a team. This is unincluded communication skills. Evidence. Get to chance to put in knowledge to use. What experience in management companies. using the words. Most great experience combined with using this experience of the divisions. And chance to put them in to put in place. That's what I'm doing is about. Yes. Yes. What is it? It's a species of uncritical solutions. Structures of uncritical solutions. And